Mr. Jim Dupree, spokesperson for the Internal Revenue Service for Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. We're also joined by our IRS tax specialist, Paulette Thompson. Well, Jim and Paulette are here with us today to decode the tax code. Hopefully they can simplify it to mean a tax deduction in our favor. And these IRS representatives are knowledgeable about business and personal tax law and available to answer our tax questions. So let's welcome Jim Dupree and Paulette Thompson on the air with us today. Well, good evening.
And good evening to you.
Good evening. Well, you know, it's April 15th. How timely.
Oh, you're right.
In the nick of time. And you know what? I'm jokingly, I have to tell everyone that you know that after I leave here tonight, I will be headed to the post office to make sure my tax return is time-stamped on time. But I think, you know, there's no time like the present. And I didn't want to come on this show, learn of something that I should do, and have already mailed in my tax return. So that's what I mean by your timely. So welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, you know, Jim, it's this time of year, and there are a number of things that are on people's mind in relation to their taxes. A, you know, hopefully you didn't have to pay anything. But B, I think what's even more criminal is when you actually get a return, because that means we've loaned the government money for a year. But what's on the mind of many listeners, I'm sure, is the economic stimulus package. So Can you just shed a little light on what the stimulus package means to people who are filing their tax returns?
Well, a couple of things. For one, you're right. It's been the biggest story for the entire filing season. Most people forgot about their taxes and immediately went into where's my rebate zone. For those people who've already filed a 2007 return, the president signed the economic stimulus bill, I guess a couple of months ago now, and basically awards everybody some money. The stipulation to get the money is you have to identify yourselves. So they decided to use the tax records to do it in the IRS to actually make the disbursement of the payments. So if you've already filed your 2007 return, there's nothing you have to do whatsoever. Just wait for the payment to come to you. But we were also trying to reach out to those folks that traditionally don't do a tax return. These are retired folks on Social Security benefits, railroad retirement benefits, and veterans benefits. And those people in some cases haven't filed a tax return in decades. But again, in order to identify yourself, you have to do a return. So we're trying to reach out to those folks. Now, even though it's the April 15th deadline for most people, those people who are only doing a return to get the stimulus payment actually have until October the 15th.
Oh, is that right? That's good to know. Well, the other thing, though, so we're saying file a tax return, and for people who are retired or don't have really earned income, those are the people that would, in some cases, maybe not filed traditionally. So
That's
you're
right.
saying that in order for them to get the economic stimulus rebate check, that you definitely have to file a return.
That's correct. And you'll have to have a valid Social Security number as well. And the payments will range from $300 on the low end to up to $600 for an individual. You can double that if you're filing a joint return, so up to $600 on the minimum, $1,200 for a married couple. And if you have children that qualify, by qualifying children under 17 years of age that reside in your home, that can't be declared depending on someone else's return, and if they have a valid Social Security number as well.